Good evening, campers, and welcome aboard the Starship Nightwish. I'm Commander Exorcist, and today we've got some reactions that we're going to look at. And we're at war. It's a very interesting time in our history in Elite. So many of us have grown up, per se, in hearing about the First Thargoid War, and what we know and what many of us have learned and become aware of in general come from relics and stories and just, the echoes of history. Now we're in the middle of it, and the bubble is burning. There are entire systems that are taken over by our alien friends here, and there are brave pilots that are risking their lives to reclaim territory. There are brave pilots that are rescuing people who desperately need to be evacuated from these systems. And there are people doing scientific research, analysis, and everyone in some way is contributing. So it's really awesome to see. Before we get started today, I want to take time to shout out to the disciples. Without these people, content like this and out there and the other things that I do on this channel would not be possible. So thank you for all of these people, all of the disciples who contribute each month and keep me going. If you're interested in helping out, your contribution helps not only this channel, but it helps my content across all of cyberspace. So all of my social media and all of my projects, it all goes into the same place. So if you'd like to help out, patreon.com/Commander Exorcist. Be grateful for your support. The darkest days. News feeds have published their reactions as Thargoid Maelstroms launch fleets to overpower multiple inhabited systems. If you're not aware, the Maelstroms are the Stargoids. The strange lights we've been watching in the sky for the last few months have arrived, or have started arriving as of the recording of this video. They are gigantic, caustic clouds. Now, we believe there's something at the center of the cloud, but nobody can get there. You can get there close, and ships start to melt, essentially, and they're repelled. So we believe that there's something there. And if we're going to win this war, we're going to have to get inside the Maelstrom. And it'll be interesting to see how that plays out over time, because the technology that we have at the moment is not effective. It's effective to win a one-on-one combat scenario with the interceptors and the basilisks and the stuff that we've grown accustomed to fighting over time, but whatever the Maelstroms are, I think they're just kind of a taste of some of the superior technology that the Thargoids actually have that we haven't seen yet. We don't know what's at the center of the Maelstrom, but we know that it's bringing untold, unimaginable devastation to these systems. And so today on Galnet, a variety of news outlets from across the bubble have released their perspectives on how things are going. We're going to go through a few of these, and then I have some thoughts, especially on the last one. So let's go. Saul today says, "Be in no doubt that we are in a war for survival. Dark days are upon us. No more ridiculous ideas of peace with the aliens. No more time for politics or debate. The Thargoids have come to wipe us out unless we stand and fight." The Old World Gazette. "This is the most severe Thargoid attack ever recorded. Hundreds of thousands slaughtered. Millions more fleeing their homes. Stations and planetary ports bombarded. Entire star systems conquered. All in a few days. Many fear that nowhere will be safe if these savage onslaughts cannot be halted." And I agree. Nowhere is safe. I think we're seeing that. In reality, nothing anywhere is safe from this. And I want to talk real quick about the conquered in a few days. In a total war situation, when you know your enemy, but you don't know their plans, kind of like we do with the Thargoids, you're going to see massive losses. many, many weeks, possibly months into the conflict until we're able to kind of get on our feet and come up with some kind of strategy. We've reclaimed a few systems. We've held off certain advances, but ultimately we're losing badly right now. Citizens Chronicle, the speed with which our Navy responded to defend Imperial citizens against the Thargoids must be applauded. However, it is becoming harder to ignore the screams from less fortunate systems. Their cries melt our Emperor's heart enough for her to consider extending the Empire's protective wings. So the Empire is looks like it's considering expanding to protect people who are under attack. I'd be all about that. The Empirical. The hazardous nature of the Maelstroms has challenged all efforts at scientific examination. In terms of scale and composition, they resemble small nebulae, yet they are surely artificial. Their highly corrosive clouds share chemical signatures with known Thargoid technology, but prevent all scans from identifying what generates them. As I said in the beginning, we think there's something inside of them. And whatever is inside of the Maelstrom is going to be the key to winning this war. I 100% believe that. Now, the next part I'm going to talk about at length. The Sovereign. The KingFisher tragedy has been eclipsed by the current conflicts, but one detail we felt worthy of note was the discovery of Thargoid sensors among the megaship's wreckage. The leading theory is that one of the volunteer crew members smuggled these aboard in hopes of attracting the Thargoids' attention to the megaship's peaceful communications. This misguided individual was likely unaware that Thargoid vessels can become hostile upon detecting their technology on human ships. One hopes that nothing more sinister was at play. Okay, so I have a couple of thoughts about this. I took a little bit of a ribbing from some folks with the KingFisher story because I really viewed it as a 100% obvious fool's errand. I buy some of that, but I just really feel like it was like a mass suicide mission, essentially. But what we have here is a really interesting twist to the story. I don't trust the media. So let's say that the Sovereign is correct for the moment. Let's say that they're telling the truth and that Thargoid sensors were found in the wreckage of the KingFisher, not mysteriously planted there by a scrupulous or a certain senator, congressman, some political figures, who knows. So let's say they weren't planted there. Let's say that they legitimately found Thargoid sensors among the wreckage. That is a failure from the very top. The security systems on that ship should have been well aware that there was Thargoid materials on board. Whoever managed to sneak on Thargoid sensors, it's pretty incredible. It's an incredible feat. They were not just some random Joe Schmo off the street. They obviously had some kind of connection, availability of resources, the ability to coordinate this specific cargo. These things are not small, and they're not easy to carry around. So, I think that regardless of whether or not this story is true, whether these were planted in the wreckage or if they were from the wreckage of the KingFisher, I think there's much more. I think there is something sinister here. Something's going on, and it's these little things, and you have to be careful about diving into the tinfoil hat stuff, especially when you have a war going on like this. But you also cannot discount the things that are right in front of you. Things that don't make sense. If they don't make sense, they probably don't make sense for a reason. And in this case, this doesn't make sense regardless. Either way you frame it, there is something going on here. Now, I could joke and say that it's Dalton himself. He just threw something out there and said, oh, look, it was the Thargoid sensor. It wasn't me. So he can deflect blame. And I wouldn't... that seems pretty legit. That seems like something he would do. But in this case, if a Thargoid sensor was somehow, quote-unquote, smuggled onto the KingFisher, there's much more going on here than we're being told. And we have to consider that the enemy might not be the one in front of us. And I'm wondering if that's a twist that we may see at some point. What if the Maelstroms are... I don't know. I don't want to dig too deep into it, but sometimes your greatest enemy is the person standing next to you. And somebody, I think, in my opinion, somebody did this on purpose. And it's easy to blame Dalton, but he may be just another useful idiot for some greater sinister purpose. Who knows? I guess we'll see in time. So it's a very interesting story. There's a lot going on. The war is raging. Things are heating up. The struggle is real. And I wish the best for everyone who is out there fighting and working. Keep doing what you do. 07 Commanders. Fly safe, and I will see you out there.